If you have PCOS and you wake up feeling bloated and inflamed, then it's your gut crying for help.
If you wake up feeling bloated and gassy and have really bad body odor and gas, chances are that you've got an issue going on with your gut. Those are all signs that your gut microbiome is off.
We noticed that 79.2% of you are not subscribed. So if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Come subscribe. We give you 5 days a week of free weight loss advice. And I mean, come on. It's a pretty cool vibe over here. So I'd love it if you'd come join. We really appreciate all of your support. So please don't forget to subscribe. When I was 320 pounds, this was me every single day. And once I started to lose the weight and incorporate a bunch of different foods that we actually talk a lot about in our program, that's when I started to actually see weight loss, better skin, better health, and I was less inflamed. So today we're going to dive in and tell you exactly the method we use, but everything else will be in our program if you want to learn more about that.
Yeah, because I think we're so hard on ourselves thinking that our willpower isn't enough, but really all these signs we're talking about today are your gut crying out for help, and it's not about willpower.
Also, I want to just preface this with vegetables are not bad. They're not bad for you. And if you're like, well, I've been told all these things, I recommend you guys go listen to our podcast with Dr. Sabine, a gastroenterologist who is highly respected in the community.
We recommend that you look at some of the podcasts, the 2 podcasts that we've done with Dr. Sabine, because she has a lot of insight into these topics. Because if you're eating food and feeling like you look 6 months pregnant after you eat because you're suffering from severe bloating, we just want to let you know that you have to look inside. We all have to look inside. And unfortunately, the whole body of science around the gut microbiome hasn't yet really fully interfaced with gastroenterology as a whole. So I feel like people don't know where to go right now for information that's viable and that works. And so Dr. Sabine has done a lot of podcasts outside of ours, of course, that you should definitely look at and just start to get informed. Don't believe everything you hear, but start to get informed and start to realize that vegetables are not your enemy and that bacteria is a thing, and we do have to look inside. The answer is not going to be outside of ourselves. It's going to be inside of ourselves.
I used to eat salad and look 6 months pregnant, and I was bloated and inflamed after eating any vegetable or anything like that. And I'm actually still recovering from all the damage I did to my gut when I was 320 pounds. Even 160 pounds down, I am still recovering and healing my gut.
One of the main pesticides that's used, that's called glyphosate. And now glyphosate's gotten such a bad name that there are new ones that are being used by Monsanto. I just want to clarify that when you eat foods that are not organic, that have herbicides, fungicides, and pesticides on them, they absolutely impact your gut microbiome. And so I think the rise in PCOS we're seeing is also the rise in genetically modified food organisms and foods that are being inundated with these pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides. So definitely take a look at that, because I want you to understand when you have PCOS, you know that your gut permeability is increased. And when your gut permeability is increased, you're going to have inflammation, and inflammation leads to bloating. So we don't want that for you. That also leads to estrogen dominance and cortisol, and then you have major gut issues.
Something I'd like to add is that when you are moving your body from a ultra-processed food diet to a whole food diet, there is a reaction, and it does take time for your body and your cells and everything to adjust to the new foods you're giving it, because it's not used to the whole foods anymore because you've been feeding it only the processed food. So it's going to be uncomfortable. And I've had to learn that myself on the journey. Like, there are certain vegetables that are really painful to eat, and maybe I'm not ready to eat them yet because they cause me a lot of pain and gas, and that's just not worth it to me at this moment. And so you just have to kind of test yourself and be patient, but don't just give up and say, oh, I'm going to go back to processed food, because there's cons to that too.
Absolutely. So what we're trying to say to you is that it is a process, and that your bloating and your gas and your constipation are all signs that your gut needs help. And that means killing off the bad bacteria, encouraging the growth of good bacteria, and finding balance so that the scale can go back down again, your hormones can find balance again, and that you have freedom and health. Because I know that it's possible. Penelope naturally reversed her PCOS. The girls in our program are naturally reversing their PCOS. So it does take time, and it does take support, and it does take correct knowledge. So I hope that you'll join our program if you feel like you're ready, because it is an investment. And I don't mean just money. I mean time, and really recommitting to the person that you were born to be.
If you would like to support Mom and I making the women of America healthy, beautiful, and fit again, then please subscribe to our Substack down below. In our Substack, we're sharing our fermenting processes, we're sharing our sprouting and our recipes, and even how to make yogurt, which has been really great for our gut microbiome PCOS healing journey. Don't forget to follow us on X, Instagram, Spotify, and TikTok. Comment down below your favorite tip from this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll see you all the time.
Hey, we noticed that 79.2% of you are not subscribed, which means you're watching our videos, you like the content, but you haven't made the commitment. So we would love it if you would subscribe.